Everybody wants to know the secret. They always do. They lean in a little when they ask, like I might whisper something fragile, something rare, something they can carry away in their pocket. I'm 105 years old. How did you live this long? Why do you still sound calm? How are you still smiling? They expect me to say something simple: food, habits, discipline. They expect a trick. I let them talk. I've learned that people don't really want answers. They want reassurance. Yes, I walked a lot. Yes, I ate plainly. Yes, I worked hard. But none of that is why I'm still here. If you want to hear the secret, you have to listen slowly, because it took me most of a century to understand it, and even longer to stop resisting it. I wasn't always calm. I wasn't always gentle. When I was young, I thought happiness was something that waited at the end of effort. Finish this, earn that, survive long enough, then it would arrive. I built my life on that idea. I was born poor, very poor. My earliest memory is hunger, not dramatic hunger, just the quiet kind that follows you through the day. My father died when I was 9, heart failure, sudden. One day he was tying his shoes. The next day, the shoes stayed by the door. My mother did her best, but best doesn't stop the world from taking more. By 12, I was working. By 16, I stopped thinking about what I wanted. By 25, I believed wanting things was dangerous. I married young. Her name was Elena. She had a way of listening that made you feel finished, like nothing was waiting behind your words. We were happy, but not loudly. Quiet happiness doesn't get noticed until it's gone. She died in her sleep when she was 34. No warning, no illness, just absence. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed, holding her hand, waiting for it to warm again. It didn't. After that, something closed inside me, not all at once, just enough. People told me I was strong. I believed them, because strength felt like the only thing I had left. I raised our son. I worked. I paid bills. I didn't fall apart. Inside, though, I was always waiting for life to explain itself, for something to make the pain make sense. It never did. Years passed, then decades. I lost my business in my 50s, a fire, electrical, overnight. Everything I had built turned into smoke before morning. I stood on the street watching it burn and felt nothing. That scared me more than the fire. I thought emptiness was strength. I was wrong. I spent a long time believing happiness was irresponsible, something careless people allowed themselves. I waited for the right moment to feel okay. It never came. Then one night, nothing dramatic, I was sitting alone, eating bread that had gone stale. The radio was on, low, a song I didn't recognize, and I laughed. Not because it was funny, because I realized I was still alive inside my body. That moment didn't fix anything, but it cracked something open. I didn't understand it yet. I just noticed that life hadn't finished with me, even though I thought it had. That's where this story really begins. Not with joy, with noticing. I'll stop here for now. Some memories don't like to be rushed.
After that night, things didn't suddenly improve. That's not how life works. But I started paying attention to what I used to ignore. The sound of my footsteps in the hallway, the way sunlight settled on the table before moving on, the fact that I could still taste bitterness in coffee. I met Rosa when I was 68 at a bus stop. She was impatient. I liked that about her. We talked because the bus was late. Then we kept talking because neither of us wanted to stop. People stared, an old man and a woman who didn't fit expectations. I didn't care as much as I once would have. That surprised me. We didn't have a dramatic love. We had dinners, walks, silence that didn't feel heavy. She died after 17 years together. Cancer, slow, exhausting. I held her hand near the end. She squeezed once and said, "Don't disappear." I promised her I wouldn't. I didn't know how hard that promise would be. After she was gone, the world felt thinner again, but it didn't close. That's when I finally understood something I'd been circling my whole life. Happiness was never something waiting for me. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't earned. It was something I allowed or refused. For years I refused it, out of fear, out of loyalty to pain, out of habit. I thought choosing anything else meant betraying what I'd lost. I was wrong. Now at 105, happiness looks very small and very solid. A warm room, a body that still responds, a memory that doesn't hurt as much as it used to. I don't feel happy all the time. That's not the point. I feel present, and presence, I've learned, is what happiness was trying to be all along. If you're listening to this, I don't know what you're carrying. I won't pretend to. I only know that waiting didn't save me. Paying attention did. I'm 105 years old. I don't have many days left, but the days I do have, I'm here for them. If you want to sit with this for a moment, that's enough. You don't have to take anything from it. Just don't disappear.
I remember the first morning after Rosa passed. The house felt wider, emptier, almost echoing with things I hadn't noticed before. I walked slowly, touching the furniture, the curtains, the things she used to handle with care. Everything felt heavier because she wasn't here. I thought I would collapse under the quiet, but instead I noticed something strange. I noticed that I was still breathing, still capable of sitting in the sunlight, still capable of remembering her smile without it breaking me completely. I made coffee, black like she always drank it. I listened to the hum of the fridge, the soft rustle of the blinds. It wasn't happiness yet. It was presence again. A kind of fragile, simple presence that I had forgotten in the years of loss and fear. I realized then that life had been giving me small gifts all along, moments I never recognized as moments. A neighbor who waved, the sound of birds at dawn, the memory of a child's laughter decades ago. These were the things that mattered, not the plans I'd chased, not the things I thought I needed. I laughed quietly that morning, surprising myself. It was a soft laugh, a private one, but it came from somewhere deep I hadn't touched in years. And I understood I could still choose this. I could let myself feel small, quiet joy, even after all the things I had lost. I've learned, finally, that joy doesn't arrive with fanfare. It doesn't require permission. It doesn't wait for life to be easy or perfect. It's there in the quiet. And at 105 years old, I can finally see it clearly. If you're listening to this, take a moment with it. Notice the quiet in your own life, the things that are already here, waiting for you to pay attention. That's enough. That's the whole secret.